the male gaze versus the female gaze. We look at people for their appearance the first time we lay eyes on them, as if we were to look at people with lust in our hearts. This is when the gaze comes into play. What is the gaze? The gaze can be how men look at women, how women look at women, or how women look at themselves. According to Laura Mulvey, film audiences have viewed characters from the perspective of a heterosexual male, which, if I might add, is true. The camera gives close-ups of the female body, showing curves, breasts, etc. The cinema offers a number of possible pleasures, which there is pleasure just by being looked at. According to McLuhan, many people will be disposed to say that it's not the machine, but what one did with the machine. That is the meaning of message. The medium would be the music videos or the film, and the message is how they sexualize it. It can become fixated into a perversion, producing obsessive, voyeurs, and controlling sense in objectified other. With all of this being said, not all the time the woman likes the attention that the male might offer. Traditionally, the woman displays has functioned on two levels, one as erotic object for the characters within the screen story, and two as erotic object for the spectator within the auditorium, with shifting tension between the looks on either side of the screen. The camera gives you the illusion of the human eye of how you would see the woman. Oftentimes, women wonder about how they look in the eyes of a man than to wonder about what homework assignment is due. Women look at the media as their stepping stool to how they are supposed to look and dress. In a world ordered by sexual imbalance, pleasure in looking has been split between active by the male and passive being the female, which determines the gaze. Ultimately, the meaning of woman is the sexual difference. Oftentimes you say, I do not want him to stare at me that way, but in all, women really do. Women do not like for men to stare and gawk at them, but they love the feeling of being beautiful. A man do not have to say you're beautiful, can I get your number? But the male gaze tells it all. If a man never stared or had his friends stop what they're doing just to stare at a woman, they will feel like something was going wrong or they wasn't pretty. Even though it is a book, the readings in the book gives the woman a feeling of escape and fantasy, because she isn't possibly getting the attention from a man being the gaze. She gets it from the novel. Some women love the male gaze because it makes them feel pretty. This also goes for men, and as we see men with their shirts off showing skin and muscles, females gaze just as well as the men do. It might not actually be objectifying them in their heads, but nonetheless sex is on the mind. Men, when getting dressed, think about how they are supposed to look to impress a female. Media shows both women and men on a daily basis what is in fashion, but are they showing fashion or really just showing you a celebrity, making you fantasize about them? According to Dyer, we get our information about people from what they tell us, and fiction from narrators and from thoughts of the character. But most of our knowledge about them is based on the evidence in front of us. What they do, how they do it, what they say, how they say it, dress, mannerisms, where they live, and so on. When we regard a person in their role, we are thinking of them purely in terms of the particular set of actions that they are performing at the moment we encounter them. Dyer basically was saying that if we do not know about a person, we will not assume about them. For instance, in film, a man holding a little doll, he is gay. The media gives us symbols showing us how people are to act and to behave. The male gaze, as well as the female gaze, is even with children. Programs introducing little children into the means of the gaze. I did a survey asking men and women how they feel a woman or a man is supposed to look, and how they feel about the male gaze. as well as a female gaze.
I think there's like a certain look for a man. I think like every female has a type of man that they're attracted to. Me, I don't even know. I think it's more like there's a look, you know, like I'm into like guys that are mixed all the time, but once you like get to know someone, it can completely turn you off, and like the look can just, it's like even if you look good, if your personality sucks, then like your looks mean nothing.
I feel like he's supposed to be presentable.
Taller than me.
Short hair. No facial hair.
I like facial hair. Strong, not like scraggly.
Yeah.
Not exactly.
He's got muscles.
Yeah.
Females should look like her. Females shouldn't try to, I don't know, copy or even emulate the shit that she sees on TV and the media. There's a lot of females out here trying to look like Nicki, trying to like Amber Cole, and losing their own image. But personally, me, man, my female, I don't know, she gotta have a big butt.
A man is supposed to look manly, masculine. Unless he's not masculine.
Honestly, I don't think there is any way that anyone should look like. I don't think there is any word that can describe one single normal or what normal is or what normal should look like. I feel like the word normal is really relative. So a man should look like what that kind of man wants to look like, or, you know, whatever he doesn't want to look like. It's all relative, I think.
She's supposed to look like any way she wants to. Like one woman looking one way and another woman looking another way. That's how people are different. Different cultures, different styles, different women, different unique personalities since they have. You can't go around, you know, go to Fridays or go to the club and everybody wearing the same thing, looking the same way. It's going to be boring. It's going to be stupid.
I feel that boys or men, they should look presentable. I mean, it's nothing wrong with wearing a t-shirt and jeans, but don't have them hanging off and don't have any body parts revealing. You can actually determine what looks best on you. Just because you have it don't mean you have to wear it.
Dress really reflects his personality, so I mean, if he's, I don't know, dressed ghetto, then like, you know, he's like a new boy.
I think a woman should be dressed very modest in apparel and even modest makeup. You know, less is more and more can be too much, okay? So I think a woman should be very modest.
Should be so sexy. Oh my God, like he has to be black because I love my black men. I'm sorry, nothing against the white boys, the Chinese, the Puerto Ricans. I gotta have my black man. He has to be tall, but I'll deal with the short ones. Tall, muscular build, nice stomach, you know, and he has to be big down there also.
He's supposed to look clean. Like, he's supposed to keep himself together and shave every once in a while. And if he doesn't shave, then yeah, he needs to.
He's supposed to look fly, dress well, well-groomed, white teeth, decent haircut if you don't have a nice hairdo going on.
I think a woman should look ladylike.
And well presented and know how to talk to a lady when they first meet her.
Well put together, preppy.
So I feel like a woman should definitely not look like one of the Barbie like dolls or anything. I feel like they should just be who they are. I don't feel like there shouldn't be a standard where a woman should look like somebody or like, you know, there shouldn't be a standard for a woman to look like something.
Well, I just feel like what a man shouldn't look like is a woman, I guess, in a sense. I feel like, you know, men can pull off, you know, different looks, but one thing men should not wear dresses, men should not wear skirts, men should not wear heels, because those are things that are more associated with femininity and women. So men can pull off different looks. However, the very girly things, I feel like they should not touch.
A man is supposed to look very professional, clean cut, nice haircut. Not saying he has to dress in a suit and tie every day, but be presentable, because you never know who's looking at you. And a man just supposed to look nice. I don't know.
A man, I think a man could look any certain way as long as he acts respectable. A man could be dressed in anything. He could be homeless and he could be the most respectable man. But majority of the men of men look nice, suit and tie. That's what the stereotype is of a man. That's how
A man is supposed to me, I think a man is supposed to be masculine, like, facial hair, not skinny, they have to have some type of, like, muscle, they have to be real kind
clean cut. Honestly, I'm not picky. They don't have to be buff, they don't have to be scrawny, it don't matter. As long as they clean cut and, nice.
And not short. You can't be short. I don't think men aren't short. Like, that's just
it's
weird.
Their genes. You can't be picky. You don't have to date the men. How they
it doesn't matter. Like, if he's short, I'm gonna stick with you as a boy.
But if he's short and he's still a man, like he's 20-something years old, he's still a man.
I'm gonna look at you as a boy if he's short. I don't know. If you're under 5'5", that's too short for a man.
What do you want me to do? Get surgery to get taller?
Something. Grow your kneecap, something.
Girl.
when a man stares. When I'm walking down the street and he shows me like he's interested, I love it.
I feel that some men should keep their looks to themselves.
Should be done very discreetly and done with some class. So, that's where I am with it. But, if somebody wants to look at you, I think it's okay. It lets you know that you still have it.
Okay, sometimes I find it very annoying. I just want to walk down the street without them looking at me, particularly old men. I don't want any old men staring at me. I think that's gross. Or young children, 18.
Some sort of gaze or like signal to show you that like you're attracted to someone, or else no interaction could ever go anywhere at any time.
Like I'm under the male gaze, I feel that I'm almost like an item, like I'm a product rather than a person. It's nice to have compliments from men. Nice to have compliments from anyone, especially men though, because that's what I'm attracted to. However, I just feel that there is a respectful way to do that, but also a lot of the times that has to do with how women carry themselves. A lot of the time, women carry themselves in such a way that doesn't leave anything to the imagination. The male gaze can really be very strong and really be almost negative sometimes because that's how women carry themselves. So it's a two-part thing. It's how the man sees it and how the woman carries themselves, both alike.
I see the female gaze, and I just make it kind of uncomfortable because it seems like it sends off some really wrong vibes and just wrong impressions, all that sort of thing. Not very good.
Well, I don't feel good about it because I just think it's disrespectful too. If they wanted to talk to me, they can just come up to me and be like, yeah, I'm trying to talk to you. And I'd be like, hey, shawty, or something like that. I just feel that's disrespectful.
It's a little disrespectful. We were raised as queens, and that's how we should be treated.
I think that the male gaze is obviously something that exists in our society, and it's something that women have to deal with all the time on a daily basis, whether it's pressure from family members, friends, TV, magazines, music, whatever. I feel like people are always pressured to feel certain ways, and I feel like the male gaze definitely plays a lot into that, just as much as I think the female gaze does as well.
I hate the men that gaze because they act like we are a piece of meat. It's okay for you to look, but like when I'm walking down the corner, I don't need you to follow me and say, hey, shorty, how you doing? You're beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. You don't have to tell me that.
How do I feel about the female gaze? Honestly, I love the female gaze. I love when females stare. I love when females let it be known what they're interested in. And honestly, these hoes be choosing. So if females are gazing, you're doing something right.
Gaze, how would I have no interest? As far as I'm concerned, if it ain't no gaze, either there ain't no interest or it's not really worth the effort to crack that wall. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
I mean, it's just too many women on the planet to be doing that. Going around cracking walls everywhere.
So you're good.
So that gaze let me know, shawty, this wall already cracked.
Male gaze is, I don't know, it's demeaning in a way because I'm not the type of person to like get dressed up to go to class. So you're not, I'm not going to get those gazes because I'm wearing like sweats and like a hoodie. So I don't really care about that. But like, I think it's weird that once you're all dolled up and you're looking cute, all of a sudden you get these looks and you already know what it's for because it's like you weren't looking at me yesterday in my hoodie, so why are you looking at me today in my heels and like all my club wear? Like,
I think it's funny actually, but if he's cute enough, then I'll just look back and then, you know, smile.
I feel like gazing is more of like a female trait. Like, no guy should just staring at you like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. I mean, if you feel some type of way, then you should, I feel like a guy should say something like, well, you're pretty, or I want to talk to you, or something like that, as opposed to just staring and like.
I feel like they can, I feel like it's okay to gaze first as long as the action comes with it.
Yeah. But not outwardly gazing and watching
I'm not with that.
classroom and stuff like
but
that.
If it's initial gazing and then, you know, I make eye contact back and then you come over, that's cool.
I actually like the male gaze when I'm out about to go to a club, but just don't stare too hard in a disrespectful way where I feel uncomfortable. Because then at times there are men that give that gaze where it's just on a perverted level and it's uncomfortable. And sometimes I tell my mother like, I hate being a female because I feel like a piece of meat when I walk down the street. Guys whistling, staring at you, honking at you. Sometimes it does bother me.
I like the male gaze. It makes me think of like, my body on point, and you feel like that type of way. But then it depends on a certain male gaze. You know, it has to be, if it's an old man looking at me, that's going to be in a disrespectful way. I'm going to take it personal. I'm going to feel some type of way. But if it's a younger male that's my age, look good or whatever, I'm going to take it like, oh, I look good. Like, okay. But if it's somebody else, like older, then that's not going to feel right. But I do like the male gaze.
As I interviewed the people, I noticed that both men and women appreciate the male gaze as well as the female gaze, but as long as it's clean. In society, the male gaze is never clean. As we watch videos and ads in movies, sex is the number one thing that always occurs. When the woman is gazing at the man, it makes the man feel like he is the man and gets an ego, giving him power. When the man is gazing at the woman, she is powerless, making her feel threatened and in some cases uncomfortable. McLuhan said, "It is a man's world," giving the male power of mostly everything. In a conversation, the woman can control what is being said and what she will or will not accept, opposed to when he is looking at her, she has no control over the situation and puts her in a vulnerable state. But in the end, women are objectified and men are praised.
I'm pussy badass and I'm so gangsta.